Hi, Tiffany Johnson here with OnlineBusinessManager.com. I am Tina Forsythe's Online Business Manager as well as the Training Manager for the Certified Online Business Manager Training Program. Yes, it is a mouthful. It does keep me busy as well. Happy New Year, everyone. I'm so excited to be meeting with you here the end of January. It was a great holiday time here at Online Business Manager. We had several weeks off. Tina took several weeks off. I took several weeks off. We've been full at it since we got back here the second week fully of January, and I am excited to be sharing with you today something that I'm just seeing recurring in conversations that I'm having with online business managers about communication. So I want to talk to you today about the 3 keys to effective communication in the virtual industry. And this is so important because if we are not really communicating well with our clients or really communicating well with our teams, balls are getting dropped, right? So here are what I see and what I have put into practice and how I know is effective ways to communicate. The first key is to be slow to speak and quick to listen. This is so important. We have to, as VAs, OBMs, virtual support professionals, listen more than we talk. Listen more than we talk. And this can be hard. Honestly, it can be really difficult because many times the conversations that we have with our clients, well, those are the only relationships that we have online. And we really need to connect with people. We feel a need to have that human relationship, and we can connect with someone else who's just as passionate about online business as we are when we're talking to our clients. And so sometimes we will have communications with our clients, get on that weekly call, get on that daily call, and we just want to chat it up a little bit. And I want to say that that's not healthy. That's not effectively communicating so that y'all can come together and accomplish what you really want to accomplish. And I get it. It's kind of lonely in this industry. If you're like me, I sit in this office day in and day out. My kids pop in and out after school, and we might have a couple of conversations, but until I close shop for the day, I'm pretty much just in my office hanging out. It's me, it's my computer, it's Facebook, oddly enough. And so we have a desire within us, a nudging within us to connect, like in a companionship role with our clients sometimes. And I just want to say that's not the most effective way to create an environment for healthy communication in the business, okay? So if you're feeling that nudging, if you're feeling like, I really want to be able to connect with somebody, and my client's the only person I'm talking to weekly, and, I really like her and she really likes me, and we really connect this way, that's fantastic. But I want to encourage you to reach out to a peer group that, an OBM peer group or a VA peer group that can really help you meet that need so you can stay focused with your clients, specifically when you're on those weekly calls. Another reason why we are quick to speak and kind of slow to listen sometimes is we often know more than the client does. And I don't mean that to disrespect any of our clients out there, but I know that when I show up in the business, a lot of times I am the expert. I know more about running the back end of a business than many of my clients have through the years. Why? Well, because I've been on the back end of many businesses, and I've seen what works and I've seen what doesn't work, and I've seen success and failure in a way that a business owner who's only ran one business and only had that one line of experience, whereas I've been in 30 lines of experience. So often we want to lead or direct our clients in the directions that they should go based on our experiences. My take on this is truly that you listen. You need to just listen to the client, find out what they really need, then go, do it, put it together, make it happen. Prove your expertise by the work that you're doing and not by, we could do this or we could do that or we could do this or we could do that. Instead, let them tell you what they need, go create it, and come back and prove that expertise that way, opposed to doing it through this conversation of, I know all these different ideas we could do, all these different things we could do. Those are great, but that's not the best way to have effective communication with the short period of time that you have when you're speaking with your clients. Another thing, or another reason why we are, kind of wanting to talk more than maybe listen, is because we need questions answered, right? I mean, I get this. We need questions answered. We've been given directions here, there, and we need questions answered. And some of our clients are going 100 miles an hour, and they can't even complete one instruction before they're on to another instruction. And so we're so busy trying to get answers to the last instruction that we don't even hear the next instruction. And the next instruction could very well be the one that was of higher priority. So I understand this. Like, I get that this is happening out there. And I understand that we have clients that literally have 15 minutes to shoot out 100 things, and somehow we've got to keep up with that. I get it. My encouragement to you would be, listen. Just listen. And if you must ask a question at the end, why? Why do we need to create this? Why are we creating that? Because if you know the why, if you know the outcome of what the client is trying to accomplish, then you can create the how. Okay? Take your expertise, create the how. If you need further assistance in creating the how, research it. That's your job. You can do it. But let your client just do what they do in terms of giving you the information. And you can come back with just, how. So that you can effectively receive all that they're trying to tell you. This is the listening. We have to be listeners in this industry when we're trying to effectively communicate. The second key, now the first key was be slow to speak and quick to listen. Okay, the second key is repeat back to the client what you have heard them say. Repeat it back to them. Every single time a client gives you instruction, repeat it back to them. You don't necessarily have to do this in the minute. If they say, okay, well, I need this website done, and you say, okay, so you need this website done. I'm not saying being obnoxious about it. I'm saying at the end of conversations or at the end of the fullness of talking about a specific subject, that you say to them, okay, well, what I heard your expectation was X. And I just want to clarify that. I heard the deliverable you're expecting from me is this. And the deliverable I can expect from you is this. Okay? This is effective communicating. Please do not bypass this step. Many times I have shot off in a direction that I thought was what the client had told me to do. And come to find out, it wasn't the priority. Or they were just verbally processing something, and I took it as an absolute instruction. It's so important that you repeat back to them. This is what I heard you say. This is what I heard the expectation is. And I know this seems simple and elementary. I mean, honestly, I get it. We don't want to seem like we're slow or dumb or can't keep up with the client. That's not what this is. This is simply that your experiences and who you are as a person will have you perceive a conversation different than someone else would. And so you just want to be super clear, because if you've ever been in that place where you've had to deal with the fact that you headed off in a direction that you shouldn't have gone in, then you know what I'm talking about. And we don't sit face to face in this virtual industry. If I'm sitting face to face with my client, I can read their body language, I can read their facial expressions, I can tell whether or not they are simply just verbally processing something, working it out in their head, they're using me as a soundboard. I can tell if it's a direct instruction. This is what we need to get done. This is what it needs to be done by. And I can tell if they're just babbling. Like, we're just chatting for the sake of chatting. When I'm sitting face to face with someone, it's really easy to be able to discern these things. But when you're on a phone and it's a 15-minute conversation and you can't fully know where your client's at in that moment, you can't discern that the same. So repeat it back to them. And then key number 3 is write it down, send the deliverables to the client in an email, and load it in Project Manager. And this is 3 steps. This is not one step. This is not just write it down in your notebook and work off your notebook. Okay? repeat it to them like we did in step 2, and then you're good to go. No. And this is not sit there and plug it all in the project manager while you're on the conversation. No. This is literally take notes through the call, put it in an email, send it over to them, get a written nod, because a verbal nod and a written nod can often turn out to be 2 different things. And you need to ensure that you can meet expectation. This is the best way to do that. Get a written nod. As soon as you get the written nod, then you can go forward with that project. And I know you're thinking this is excessive. And it is excessive. I get that. But if you've worked 3 hours on a project just to find out that your client was just verbally processing something through you and they didn't even want it, or if you've ever gotten an email 5 minutes before your client was expecting something and you didn't realize it was the top priority for that week, and so, you had it, you're going to get to it eventually, but it wasn't top priority, yeah, then you know what I'm talking about. These steps, these keys for effective communication will save you that headache, okay? And, just before I go, I wanted to just kind of say, just repeat going back to the peer group and having those relationships. Before I close out here, I really want to say to you, if you are not in a support group, if you do not have a group that you can turn to that's online, that gets what you're doing, that is there to encourage you and build you up and support you, then I really want to encourage you that is a necessary part of running your business. You need to get into a group. So I want to invite you to the obmconnect.com, which is our International Association of Online Business Managers, to kind of check that out. We have a great support group over there. As well as here until the end of the month, we actually have a special for the OBM Academy. All of our program trainings are 25% off for those who are not in the association. And if you are in the association, it's actually 50% off all of our OBM trainings at obmacademy.com. So I just wanted to kind of throw those in there, let you know we have some specials going on, and also really encourage you that if you don't have a support group, and even if you don't choose our support group, get a support group. Your clients cannot be the only interaction that you have in this virtual industry, because then you're expecting something from them that they're not meant to give you. Okay, so I really encourage you to get a support group and take these effective communication keys and start implementing them, and see if you don't end up a lot happier with the work that you're doing, as well as your client's going to end up a lot happier because the expectations are being met to the degree that they were looking for them to be met. All right? Happy New Year. I look forward to talking to you all again soon. Thanks a lot.